Bloods, welcome to a special Spurs edition of the... I shouldn't be wearing this jersey. I feel like a poser. I live in North Carolina and don't care
No, but
that
you're my
much
best
about
friend,
Spurs.
so you know what? Why not?
I love Tim Duncan and I love Wembanyama and I root for good basketball. But no one cares about our basketball takes, William.
Not
But
today.
do they care about our Harry Potter takes? That I don't know. I know a lot of people like to argue about them, and some people like to chime in and have some fun with them. And I feel like we have an action-packed podcast where I'll give you the listener trivia of the week. We have some other fan interactions I'm going to bring up, and then we're going to talk through. I said this last week, maybe the most important thing we've ever talked through, and it's helping people understand why Book 5 and the Lost Prophecy is so dang important.
Absolutely.
I'm excited for all that, and William, the first question I'm going to ask isn't necessarily a trivia question, but I want to keep it Harry Potter related. And my question is Victor Wembanyama like putting the brains of Severus Snape into the body of Rubeus Hagrid?
I think that's a really good comparison. I think he said once that he's Slytherin.
Yeah, that's why I had to pick Snape. I was thinking like Hermione. I was like, I couldn't go Dumbledore, but yeah, it landed on Snape.
He's a prideful, power-hungry man. So yes, I think that's a accurate comparison. I mean, not Hagrid's a little wide comparatively,
Yeah, I mean,
but he's
definitely
got
Maxime.
he's got the height. He got the height. That's a perfect comparison. Overwhelming strength and power and everything, but
I mean,
the brains of Snape. And I think Snape is somehow the most perfect character to compare him to. That is very perfect. I like it.
Cunning, very methodical, yet Slytherin to the core. I think a little power hungry, and I mean, is the equivalent of Wemby hitting that 3-pointer and then having that dunk on Chet, like, would that be like Hagrid picking up McNair and throwing him against the wall and then turning around and transfiguring the floor to become quicksand and like trapping 4 Death Eaters in it all within like a 2-minute span?
Yeah, or I was thinking about I mean, Wemby looks at Chet the way Snape looked at James Potter, you know?
Yes. Yes.
Except James got the better of him sometimes personally, and that's not really the case this way, you know?
No. Well, when they
got
were
a block
17.
on him when it was 3-on-1. Again, Chet didn't outplay him. Chet plays for USA. Wemby plays for France. You know. I have Olympic basketball takes too. Like, you know,
I was gonna
I
say,
don't think we should be that prideful about beating the other teams when we're so absurdly stacked compared to the rest that it's, I don't know.
Is France going to win 2028?
I hope so. There, I said it. I think it'd be awesome. I will be rooting for them, even though I'm fully American.
I think there'll be a lot of people in LA rooting for France. I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't think they have any. I don't think they have enough anywhere else, though. Reece Shea is no good. Sorry, Hunter. And so, you know.
Good call. Well, I said no one cares about our basketball takes, but who cares? This is our podcast, and no one listens anyways. So,
yep. Well, 15 people might.
Exactly.
People don't listen. People see clips on Instagram.
I mean, people listen.
And
we have
TikTok.
We have triple-digit people who listen to every podcast. That is a true statement.
Oh my gosh!
I think it's pretty exciting. Pretty exciting. And
I should be more careful about what I say.
Triple digits. I mean, yeah. William, I actually do. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. I actually do have a trivia question for you today.
Really? I'm surprised.
This comes from Michael Johnson yet again. He would like redemption after failing.
Michael Johnson, famous American sprinter, also a huge fan of our podcast.
Yes. Yeah. Also, Victor Ronsky. Here's his redemption. His question comes from Book 7. In Deathly Hallows, after Harry finishes reading Dumbledore's obituary, Albus Dumbledore remembered, by Elphias Doge, Harry tears the obituary out of the prophet and tucks it inside which book?
Tucks it inside which book? Let me think here. Okay.
After several minutes' thought, Harry tore the obituary out of the prophet, folded it carefully, and tucked it inside the first volume. Oh, well, I didn't say the name, but I did say it too far. So that was a mistake.
Practical defensive magic and its use against the dark arts.
That is word for word correct. I don't know if Michael is going to be mad that I told you the first volume, but to me, that's incredible. So congratulations.
He
You
probably
have
will be mad. That's fine. That's your
Michael,
fault,
that is
not
on
mine.
me. That is on me, but I mean, he got it word for word. That's pretty cool to me. So I don't know.
Those are the books that Lupin and Sirius gave him.
I believe so. One of the few that he takes with him as he seems to leave the rest behind.
Yeah, it leaves behind the Slinkard book.
Good call. Did that make it home? I hope he left that as toilet paper for the next Hogwarts
I think he
students.
did. They joke about like how Hermione like has it and like tosses it, you know.
Yeah, you're right. Well, Michael, I hope that I don't know, you feel a little bit better about this one, but looks like he got you again. Again, I cheated a little bit, but let us know how you feel. Let us know. William, we've had some other fan interactions. Again, I was, saying we have triple digit listeners. We also got some pretty good hate comments. And I feel
Ooh.
like when you get hate comment, and it's just making fun of us, not our takes, not like anything. It's just like just us, which I think is great. Here we got. It says this guy's name is the Goat Ato. I don't know how to say it. His post on YouTube was, "This is like example number 256,980 that not everyone should start an effing podcast." It made me laugh.
What was the video of? What was it?
It was one of our shorts. It was the Veritaserum, like why it's not a plot
Nice.
hole. Yeah, I was like, I thought this was kind of a fun subject. Like there are
I
plenty of
hope
things to make fun of us for, but I don't
I
know.
know. I hope it's a real human and not like just some, bot that's like just trying to sow discontent. I hope there is a real human somewhere who like got pleasure out of saying something mean to us,
Yes.
you know.
Well, I asked him to please expound, and he never did, but it's fine.
Dang,
But
that might be a bot. I don't know. Dang it. Well, if you're real,
but
man, come at us. Let's hear it.
there's no way he's listening to this if he is, but someone did
If we come
respond to
across
that.
your algorithm again.
Exactly. You're welcome. Clearly, there's something wrong with you if we're on your For You page. Um, Someone also followed up to that comment and said, "For real, some people think having a podcast is just yapping. It also has to be interesting." Oh, they're not wrong.
They're not wrong. They're not wrong. It has to be interesting.
It does.
I
But
mean,
how many other podcasts in the world, though, do you think are trying to find the right character combination in Harry Potter that equals Wembanyama? I think zero. I think we're the
not
only one in the
enough.
entire
Not
world.
enough.
If you know of
Yeah.
another one, please let me know. So I think we're cool.
I like that.
Yeah, I enjoyed that.
For real. Do they say FR, not for real? Did they abbreviate it
Uh,
to FR?
they did say for real.
Oh, okay.
They spelled it all out. And also in the first one, he did spell out the F word, which we won't say here. Family podcast.
Oh,
So
where did he put it?
uh, that not everyone should start an effing podcast.
Oh,
Yeah, pretty
hey,
exciting. Pretty
I
exciting.
love that. I mean, I cannot imagine like if I was like scrolling through something and like I'm just trying to
Taking
think
the
of like
time.
and I just like if you just like doom scroll and you're just like a video comes across of two idiots us like talking about Veritaserum and you're like ah! These guys.
And it's funny that like there was like one other comment on
I gotta
the
let them
post.
know.
Yeah. I feel like it's funny if there's like hundreds of comments on like a bad video and like lots of people are making fun of it. I feel like
Right.
that I could see, but there's like almost no other comments on this video. But he
Right.
wanted to let us
Right.
know. So pretty cool.
Yeah. If you're like if we
Pretty
were
cool.
like overexposed, like, man,
Exactly.
these guys are
Exactly.
famous and don't deserve it. Be like, well, we are not famous and we also don't deserve it. So I don't know what to tell you, man. But
Exactly. We're
somewhere
right
I
where we
hope,
should be.
yeah,
Yeah.
somewhere I hope he was having a bad day and he got to take it out on that comment and it made him feel better.
Yes. Like this
I
video,
sincerely do hope that's a real person and not a bot. So
it is funny. Like this video has 600 views and one comment, and yeah, it's like I
yeah.
think we're exactly where we should be. We're exactly where this podcast deserves to be.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Anyway,
anyways.
I also had fan interaction.
Oh, oh,
Um, fan. So I got a text randomly from someone, a guy that, back when I was first married in 2012, living
yeah.
in Baton Rouge, uh, guy that we went to church with, he texted me. He's like, "Hey, is this William?" In fact, I'm going to read it specifically because, uh,
No misquotes here.
so he says, "Is this still the number for William? I randomly came across your HP podcast." And so shout out Jeremy. This is Jeremy who texted me, and I said, "Yes, it is." And we just reintroduced ourselves. And he said he saw my face on Instagram. And he said, "Hold up, I know that guy. I guess my social media knows I'm a sucker for Harry Potter things. Uh, because of that, you can now tell Scott that I purchased his game." So
Jeremy,
then Jeremy and
thank you.
I had a great conversation. He actually like listens. He loved our MJ versus Harry Potter
The first
debates.
compliment we've ever received on
And
MJ
I was
versus
like,
Harry.
and I was like, yeah, it's the greatest regret of Scott's life that it hasn't blown up huge, like because it's the exact convergence of you and what you care about and me and like, but maybe if we have like every mid to late 30s, early 40s guy
Right.
who's into basketball and Harry Potter, we are many. But he had a bone to pick with me. He said my hot take that Harry's overrated at Quidditch. I've
Right.
always said this. He's just got the best broom. He, whatever.
They won 2 championships without him. Let's not forget.
Right. But he said what I'm underrating is how good Ginny is.
Ah.
I'm
Ooh,
underrating how amazing Ginny is because Ginny is like, a stretch four. Like she can play any position. Like
2-time champ,
she, like,
maybe more.
and so like she's way more versatile. She's like a guard who can play point guard, shooting guard, small forward, like
Right.
everything. Right.
It's a good point.
And I'm just underrating how amazing Ginny is at Quidditch. So like Harry's good. Ginny's clearly a better Quidditch player. Maybe not a better seeker, allegedly. Harry thinks he's better than her. But
Okay, but he
I
thinks
think
that because
Ginny's
he's
clearly a better
Harry's
Quidditch
saying
player.
Harry's saying he saw the snitch, like, from the crowd, like, who cares? Like,
Yeah. By
there's
the way, if
no
Ginny had a firebolt, she'd be better than you. So
that's I don't Ginny's flying
yeah.
around avoiding bludgers, like, actually playing Quidditch, like, that's like me saying, like, I could have made that free throw from the couch while, Wemby has been, running up and down the court for 49 minutes, and, okay, let's, like, calm your pump the brakes, Harry.
Yeah.
Congrats, you saw the snitch. Who
So
cares?
anyway, I will concede. I definitely was underrating. It didn't really cross my mind. Like Ginny is amazing. Like she plays multiple positions. She's clearly like really good at Quidditch. Um,
She's she sounds like the
so it's
LeBron
not
of
that
Quidditch.
they I don't like that.
I know.
And I know you
I
don't like
know.
that.
I know. I don't know who I'm trolling here. I'm just trolling
Uh,
myself,
yeah,
so
you're
I take
trolling
it back.
yourself, saying something nice about LeBron. Um, but yeah, so Ginny, shout out Jeremy who listens and enjoyed that part of the podcast. And yeah, it's just we used to play church ball, and he was in. I went to church with him. Nice guy.
Boy,
And dudes in their mid to late 30s who like Harry Potter and basketball.
you should love this. I think I'm gonna have Cassie, if you're listening, which I know you have to. I feel like should we, re-release the Michael Jordan versus Harry stuff as their own standalone podcast, kind of like
Hey,
these
The
shorter.
NBA finals are hot right now. I mean, NBA
Yes,
playoffs. So
I mean, it's like
I mean, we could
it
go
doesn't work.
further. We could be like, the Thunder or like, I mean, Shay's like Umbridge or Voldemort or something.
Right?
We could go far with that. You
Yes, we
know,
could.
that was Jeremy's
Shades
idea too.
Umbridge.
They're like Umbridge. They suck the fun out of everything. Shout out Jeremy. That's a good take.
That's a good
Um,
point.
you know.
But they're like Dementors, really.
Yeah, they
Um,
are They're Dementor. Well, if anyone's
suck
a
the
Dementor,
happiness
it's
out of
definitely
basketball.
Wembanyama, but, um,
No, we've already gone over it. He's half Snape, half Hagrid.
half Snape, half
Um,
Hagrid in a Dementor's body.
good call. Good call. What was
Yeah,
I going to say? Ginny, also, the obvious comp is Magic Johnson, where natural point guard, aka Chaser. But when, Harry goes out, aka Kareem, then she's got to play center, aka Seeker,
in
and
the finals and wins.
yeah, and dominates.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
that's the real comp there.
yeah. So, yeah,
Mad
Ginny,
respect.
legit. She's amazing. She makes up for Harry's absence. Hey, the best ability is availability, and Harry's not available enough, and guess it didn't matter.
Exactly. Exactly. Last thing on Ginny. This is coming back to what we posted about maybe 2 weeks ago about how excited we were for the casting of Ginny, Gracie Cochran, I
Mhm.
believe, has unfortunately, after season one having been filmed, she will no longer be Ginny. And we'll have to have a recast, which to me is like the first bad news I've
They
had
said that?
about.
They announced that?
Yeah, she announced it like through her, family. I was like, we're not going to do this anymore. It was like her.
Oh.
It seemed like it was 100% her decision. Not like she got kicked out, but
Yeah,
that's what
just like the life isn't for
I'm.
her. Oh, good for her and
I'm.
her family. I mean, I'm
Yeah,
sure that's not a,
I'm 13 years
you
old, and I
know.
don't want to still be here when I'm 20 and spend my whole childhood here. I'm sure.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, look, we're both parents. Like
Yeah,
you know, would I let my kid be a child actor? Probably not. So,
I've been trying to
I
get
mean,
one of your
unless they can
children.
make me personally very rich, but
I mean,
you know,
I feel like we've been trying to monetize one of your children for quite some time. So, you haven't really ever let it happen.
nope, not gonna.
Good call.
Uh,
Good call. What was I going to say? I guess I did want to bring up the last time we brought up, Gracie and how excited we were. We said who were the three worst casting of the movies, and I guess I want to propose here. What was the number one worst recast from the movie where we had someone and then they died and we had to get someone else? And the answer is Dumbledore. And I hate Gambon so much. And any opportunity to dunk on Dumbledore is all I'm doing here because I hate him so much.
well, you can dunk on him all you want. He's dead. So
RIP to both Richard and Gambon. But
I don't think.
uh,
I don't think
I'm
personally the odds are that John Lithgow is not gonna survive.
yeah, you said that at the beginning, and that made me really sad. he's he is going to survive, and he's going to be
I hope
mentally
so.
there.
I hope so.
He's going to be amazing.
And then they can
Gosh dang
cast
it!
like they could do like Harrison Ford, like they replaced Thunderbolt Ross.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, that can Harrison Ford play Dumbledore?
No,
Um, I don't know. Think about it. I don't know.
just like not even doing a British accent,
no. Give up.
like a
He's a
Sean
world
Connery.
traveler.
Like Sean Connery did like the Hunt for Red October, just in a full Scottish accent. Like he's a Russian submarine captain.
He's a world traveler.
Yeah,
He can adopt any accent. William, that's what I got. We've spent 19 minutes on not the actual subject of our podcast,
yeah.
but
Let's quick. Let's do it
I've
quick.
enjoyed
I'm
it
gonna
all.
give really quick answers, and if you press me for more, if I feel like I've said enough, I'm just gonna stare at you and do nothing. So
I am going to take as long as possible because I've already said this is the most important thing that I've ever done in my entire life. Kind of. We are going to talk about, again, we've gone through all of the Order of the Phoenix. This is really our last one that's directly Order of the Phoenix. We'll kind of wrap this up next week with William. I'm so slow on doing the Audible version or the full cast edition of Order of the Phoenix. I know you probably finished Deathly Hallows at this point.
no, I
I
haven't. No, I haven't.
I am committing, but I feel like we need to move our review of Order of the Phoenix full cast maybe back one week, and next week we could do a book ranking and rank all the books.
Oh yeah,
And I
heck
don't
yeah.
know, maybe invite Barry and Hunter on and make a game out of it. I don't know. It's late notice, and they probably won't be able to, but I'm throwing it out there.
But we could bring them on for chapter rankings for a different day.
True.
You know,
Absolutely.
yeah,
Absolutely.
chapter Mount
So
Rushmore or something. You know,
Exactly. Ooh, that'd be really fun. So that's what we got going the next 2 weeks. Again, today we're going to finish Order of the Phoenix. We've already gone through an extensive review of why this book is awesome, and this is the apex mountain of Order of the Phoenix, where we are going to talk about the only one he ever feared, the duel between Voldemort and Dumbledore. We're kind of talking about that. I'm not spending a ton of time on that actually. And then just the Lost Prophecy and how this all fits and why this is one of the most important chapters in all seven books. And we got to hit it all. We got to hit it all, William. And we're going to focus on really some hate comments that we've been receiving since we started posting about the Order of the Phoenix. And
Ooh. Hopefully they're more personal attacks.
not necessarily more, just really attacks on Order of the Phoenix, unfortunately, not against our
Dang
character.
it. All right. Spray it on
So
me.
that's how we're going to tackle this. The first one is from Evelyn on Instagram. And again, we're reviewing kind of the end of the events at the ministry and into Dumbledore's office. That's kind of the what we're capturing here. And so I think we'll be able to talk about all of these through these questions. The first one is it weak writing, William, or is it intentionally misleading, as Evelyn accuses, to call the prophecy a weapon, which is how Sirius describes that to Harry early in chapter 5. And she calls it just intentionally misleading for the readers to call that a weapon. What are your thoughts on
I think they are intentionally misleading a bunch of children about the
that?
true nature of something. Yes. Congrats, Evelyn. You hit the nail on the head. They intentionally misled the kids so they didn't have any idea what they were talking about. They didn't want them to know. It was hard to explain, so they called it a weapon to intentionally mislead them. Oh my gosh, you figured it out. Congrats.
I I mean, perhaps Evelyn was a child when she read Order of the Phoenix, and she also, you know, felt intentionally misled, as perhaps Harry did. I don't know.
I mean, they're
Well said.
literally trying to hide the information from the kids. Like, what are they going to say? Wait, well, there's a secret. Why would they tell him that?
A secret of how to defeat you, Harry, to be clear. That is what he's looking for.
Yeah.
Good point. I don't think
So
they're
they
going to
used the
tell Harry
euphemism.
that.
I think, yeah, I don't.
Yeah, they're not gonna tell him it's
My
a secret to
goodness.
defeat him. I think,
They
again, if they were
literally wanted them to think there was some, like, secret magic cannon that could defeat, like, a bunch of Death Eaters or something stupid because they're a
which
bunch
is
of naive
exactly
children, and they don't
what
want
they
them to
think.
know. Yes.
I mean I mean, you're making all the right points. I feel like other points I thought of was, like, the conversation was cut very shortly after that. And, yeah, the first thing Sirius says is a weapon because he's being intentionally vague. I feel like if that conversation was allowed to continue, that weapon would not be the word that we ended on at the end of this conversation,
Right,
but
because he would have
also
followed up with a lot more questions like, "What is it? What do you mean a weapon? What does that mean?" You know?
exactly. But also, knowledge is power, and he's looking for knowledge, and I don't know. It's kind of a weapon, but
Yeah,
neither here nor
it
there.
is. I think it works. Like, that's why Sirius chose I think that's
We'll
intentionally
get into
misleading. Like, also, if it is intentionally misleading, like, yes, what is wrong with that? Why is that a problem?
she thinks
What are
it's
you talking
lazy
about?
writing. She thinks it's lazy writing to distract the readers from what's really happening. But
Like,
I,
or to distract the children in the book. But yeah, go figure.
okay, next question is from Kevin Johnson on
Well, time out.
TikTok.
I want to hear her better idea. So, Evelyn, whoever you are, tell us what's the alternative? It's lazy, so you could have done it. What's better?
We'll get back to Evelyn.
Love to
She
hear
does
it,
bring up
Evelyn.
another point. She does bring up another point.
I'm sure it'll be
Uh,
just terrible as the first. Let's do it.
okay, here's the next one. This is from a TikTok user. I couldn't refine their name, but I know they asked this. And they said, after all this time, like Voldemort won't go to the ministry himself to get the prophecy. Like
Yeah.
he knows that he's the one who has to touch it. He won't go get it because he doesn't want to reveal that Voldemort is back. But then he ends up doing that in full at the end where the prophecy is smashed. He can't get the prophecy and he sticks around way too long, shows up at the ministry anyways. If he was going to show up at the ministry, why didn't he just go get that stupid ball himself? If he was going to blow it all anyways. William, what do you think there?
Mhm. Well, I think a couple things. One, people, Voldemort, others, everyone. doesn't always act rationally. As they say, hindsight's 2020, right?
Mhm.
So to tell a story where everyone makes a perfect move or doesn't do something where you could
Fair.
find a problem with it, like that's I mean, literally everything. Like every story, every person, you can second guess or whatever. But two, I think he is incredibly arrogant and like cautious about being undercover, and he knows it is a risk, and he doesn't like taking unnecessary risk. But he knows it's all happening that night. Like they finally lured him
Exactly.
there. This is the plan in motion, and it's a calculated risk of Harry's there now. They have failed me. I need to act. And his pride pushes him to act, and he engages. And it's an error on his part,
Agreed.
that he did that, because if he hadn't done it and fought Dumbledore, he would not have been seen. Um, Voldemort is not perfect. He is not the best tactician in all examples of life. He definitely makes errors, but like, you know, why didn't he just go get it himself? I mean, I think that's a better point than I mean, like he's a genius. Like you're telling me he couldn't have come up with a plan. He could have come up with a plan, but it didn't take. He could have walked into the ministry and probably defeated everyone and killed Scrimger himself a lot quicker than
Right.
the sneaky way of doing it, right? But he had a
Right.
plan. He stuck to it because he wanted to do it a certain way.
I agree.
So he
I agree
did.
with everything you said. I feel like there's a couple things here. One is, yes, his arrogance. I mean, it's all explained in one line when Dumbledore's like, the auras are on the way. Like he gives him a clear warning, and Voldemort says, "By that time, you'll be dead, and I'll be gone." And yeah, full arrogance. He did not want to get caught. That was not his intent, and he failed. And two, I think it is very different to be in the atrium at the Ministry of Magic than to be deep in the bowels of the
Yeah, that's
Department of
true.
Mysteries. It is incredibly different. Where, I mean, I was starting down a thought process of like, I don't think you can apparate like in and out of the Department of Mysteries at all. But also, like Dumbledore says that he put the Death Eaters under an anti apparition jinx.
He
So
bound them by an
he
anti-apparition.
ba-
Yeah.
he bound them. So I just I think it's a lot harder to get in and out of the Department of Mysteries. It is a true I don't know. I think there's protections. It's a maze, and it's not the same thing as him just. I mean, the Aura show up and he operates immediately out of the atrium. I feel like I'm not sure he could do that in the Department of Mysteries. And then the final point is everything that you just said. Yes, it's all happening, and he's kind of waiting on the edges. He could have easily escaped any Aurors as he's waiting, kind of in the atrium, and again, not allowing himself to be trapped in the Department of Mysteries. And then, to your point, he learns that the prophecy is smashed. And then he learns that Harry's there and he's like, well, I got to kill him. Then he learns that Dumbledore's there. Well, opportunity to kill him. Like he sees opportunity. He's filled with anger. Everything you said,
Yeah,
like,
I mean, he's, like, watching this from the command room somewhere, right? Like,
yes,
he's the guy in the chair watching over it, and, like, he figures out it's not going well. Great, now I gotta clean up this mess. They screwed up. Um,
absolutely.
you know? So he was somewhere close by, and, like, doesn't he even, like, ask, like, uh Harry asked Malfoy, like, "Why doesn't he just come get it himself?" And Malfoy's like, when they're all ignoring him, his return, like, doesn't he say that in the 5th book? Um, I'd have
Malfoy?
to doesn't when he's
Oh,
like
yeah. Oh, yeah. And he's like, what? And revealed to himself that, and revealed to everyone that you know, that he's returned when they're so perfectly ignoring him. I mean, yeah, they do call that out.
yeah. So, like, that's a reason given in the writing. I guess you might disagree with it, sure, but Voldemort's not completely invincible. Like, yeah, he's gonna take anyone in a duel, but, like, he wants to stay hidden and make people afraid of him. Because also, I think it's a pretty calculated thing that Voldemort, much like the grasshoppers in Bug's Life, are
Back
very
to back.
much like, he's very much aware that, like, if I provoke everyone into if I show up myself and just start killing people, like, I can create a stronger response.
Right.
right? Like maybe I'll scare them into submission, or maybe I will provoke a stronger response, and then all of a sudden we're outnumbered, you know?
It's true.
Um,
He never sits on the throne. He never is an open like, most of the wizarding world, like, doesn't know for a fact that Voldemort is
right.
out and about ever,
Like I
like,
said, and
through the
like he
7th
says, like
book,
if that's the point, they whisper, they don't know. Yeah.
which is crazy to think about. So, I think this piggybacks on what, like, Kevin Johnson on TikTok, tried to say, which was basically like, he spent this whole year being obsessed with the prophecy, and then he just quickly moves on and then kind of moves out into the open. And again, I think there's kind of 2 things here. One is, and again, like why Voldemort allowed himself to get revealed again, I think it was a mistake, first of all. But also, I think he had been living deeply in the shadows this whole time. And like, I feel like he did want to move on a little bit, like from phase one. Phase one was to try to get the prophecy. And phase two is like, again, the opening of the sixth book. Like, let the Dementors start wreaking havoc. Yes, I've got
Right. Right.
like, let the giants
Well,
start wreaking
also,
havoc.
like the reason he stopped caring about the prophecy is because he no longer had a record of it. There was no way to
He
get it for him
lost.
anymore. He
Yes,
lost it.
he moved on.
So what's he gonna
Yes.
do? Is he gonna subdue Dumbledore and Legilimen's Dumbledore?
Yeah.
No, he can't do that. He's like, that's not
Right.
a feasible thing.
Agreed.
I'm out. Like he's like, hey, I lost it. So he's like, I'm just gonna move forward my plan, kill Harry, take over the world. Like,
Yes.
like you know, what was he supposed to? What was he supposed to keep obsessing over it and be like, how am I gonna get this information out of Dumbledore? That's my new plan. I need to subdue him and then go to the complex depths of his mind to pull out that memory.
Yeah, he lost, and he knows he lost.
You know,
That was
because
it.
even if he captured Dumbledore, Dumbledore is sufficiently powerful enough to like acclimate himself, and like
Did he Bertha Jorkins break his brain?
I don't think he could for
I
Dumbledore,
don't think he could either.
and I think he knows that. So
He
he
lost.
moved on.
He did. Phase two was to wreak havoc, let the giants and
Yeah,
Dementors and Death
and like
Eaters.
it just moved up his plan. Like they know he was there, so he's like, all right,
Yeah.
well they saw me, and now I'm going to react to that, and my new plan. It was probably earlier than he wanted to be seen, right? Like he wanted to remain in the shadows however longer to keep chess pieces moving, just like he did in the seventh book when he finally took like think about how well that plan was to like take out Harry, the Battle of the Seven Potters, but
Right.
like he was like, we can't move on him. I'm not risking moving on him unless the ministry has fallen before next Saturday next. No, it hasn't. All right. The ministry will not be mine then. We're moving forward with this plan. We're going to attack him in transit.
Exactly. I
I don't know.
I don't
That's a. I mean, look, I'm glad people care to like. Look, I just don't think it doesn't hold a lot of weight. I don't think.
know.
Um, and I guess I don't know. Like to me, most of the stuff is like, why do you care? It's just so you can feel like you're more superior than something that's popular that people like. So why do you care? Well, it's just bad writing. Is it? Okay, great. I look forward to reading all of your, you know, published works. How amazing you are.
I don't know. There are always lines that attempt to justify all of these questions, and do you need more than that? Yeah, maybe, and that's why
Yeah.
you can listen
Also,
to this podcast.
like, yeah. Also, like to me personally, like every story ever written of fiction, nonfiction, whatever, like you could poke holes in anything. Like nothing, everything makes sense.
Right.
Like people make giant mistakes, and it ends up winning or losing something. Stuff happens all the time,
I
and like any fictional work, nothing is completely airtight. It's fine.
was trying to think of, like, some Bible reference, but I was blanking. I'm like, "Well, yeah, like, the 10 plagues wouldn't have happened if the Pharaoh just let them leave in the first place." It's like, "Yes, that is true, but he didn't, so the plagues happened."
Yeah. Like,
I
well,
don't know
I
what to
don't get
tell
it.
you.
Pharaoh literally saw him turn the entire river to blood. Why didn't that's just dumb. Why of course you would have let them go. All right. Well, I guess you don't understand the moral of the story. What am I gonna do? You know?
Um, let's stay on Voldemort. This is slightly out of order from the original list that I did, but multiple people, including Watts2 on Instagram, just basically said the prophecy is pointless. And I feel like there's many
Well,
ways
they
to
are
attack
wrong.
this. The first one I want to do is talk about why the prophecy mattered to Voldemort. And again, I think this also goes back to like what Kevin Johnson said on TikTok, and just think about the timeline where Voldemort is ascending into power. And then he hears just this phrase here of the one with the power to vanquish the Dark Lord approaches, born to those who have thrice defied him, born as the seventh month dies. That's all that he hears. And right now he's feeling great about himself. And he's like, okay, great. I got to go kill a baby. He goes to kill the baby and then spends 14 years being a tortured little spirit. And then the next thing that he does in his body is try to kill Harry Potter. And he fails yet again in dramatic fashion that he does not understand. And that basically becomes like part 3 of his plan, is like of how to kill Harry is going through wand lore, which was the correct move. He was headed down the right path. He just blew it. Anyways, so like we're sitting here now at the beginning of the 5th book or the end of the 4th book, and this is Voldemort's timeline. I heard a prophecy about Harry Potter. I tried to kill him once. It blew me to smithereens. I tried to kill him again. Something that I don't understand at all happened. Yes, I am obsessed with how to kill Harry Potter, and I am obsessed with what the rest of this prophecy says so that I can know how to kill this boy who has the power to vanquish the Dark Lord. Of course, he is obsessed with the prophecy. And Dumbledore, like, now I'm skipping straight into the Lost Prophecy chapter. Again, this is one of the best chapters ever because it's a summary of so many other great chapters where we go back to book 1, where, again, at the end of every book, Harry basically has a rap sesh with Dumbledore and they kind of sum up what really happened and what all
Mhm.
this means. And all of that comes to a head here in the 5th book. And the question we've been trying to answer for 5 books is, why did Voldemort try to kill Harry? And it's all answered right here. And that's why he brought him back to the graveyard. That's why he lured him to the Hall of Prophecy. Like, every bad thing that has happened in Harry's life is all because of one sentence. The one with the power to vanquish the Dark Lord approaches. How can you say that doesn't matter?
And also, they even specifically say, like, Voldemort was always on the lookout for, like, who's going to challenge me. Like, he is obsessed
Yeah.
with being the top dog. And he's like, who is going to challenge me? Who is going to be, like, my undoing? Like, I am obsessed with living forever. I'm terrified of death. I'm deeply insecure. And I want to rule the world. And he is, like, paranoid about, staying on top. Right.
Yes. Yes. I guess this is
I don't,
probably what that plot
I
the
truly
plot
don't understand, like, why would you say the prophecy was pointless? Like, why was it?
again,
Like, you live in this
I
magical world, like, there's seers, they make a prophecy, and, like, he's this, like, psychotic evil man who's, like, Hitler was into the occult and, like, weird things. Like, he's a complete psychopath, Like, he is, like, because, like, not everyone believes in these prophecies, like, the
right,
way
but
that,
Voldemort
like,
does.
Voldemort does. He sets store by it because he is paranoid and deeply disturbed and unloved and, like, twisted enough to, like, create his own downfall, right?
Right.
I mean, I don't understand the prophecy being pointless. I don't understand, like, I don't understand what,
And and we'll
like, if
get
the
to the
prophecy
prophecy.
wasn't there, the book is all the same?
No, because Voldemort never kills Harry. And that's the point I'm trying to make, is that I think the point that some people are trying to make online is like the prophecy is pointless because prophecies don't come to pass automatically. And Harry doesn't have to fulfill the destiny of this prophecy. But again, it's everything that you just said.
I know,
Voldemort
also
did act on it.
I know, and then, like, and Dumbledore explains this, and he's, like, almost yelling at Harry, trying to teach him in the 6th
Yes.
book, right?
Yes.
And, like, I
Chapter
think they need to
23.
read that chapter a little closer because he's like, "It is essential that you understand this." He's like, "Got to? Of course you got to, but not because the prophecy says so, because you yourself will not rest." I don't know how close I am to being verbatim. I'd have to pull it up, but I'm pretty close,
Yes.
right? Until you have either killed him or he's like you
Yes,
don't have to do anything because the prophecy says so. Not every prophecy has to become true, right? There's a bunch of them. Again, you're talking about these are deep laws of magic in this world that like your destiny is not set in stone and written for you. You have free will. Like
exactly.
it's a deeper philosophical thing. So like the prophecy is not like a thing that is like spoken out of the mouth of God, therefore it happens and it will happen. That is not
Right.
what the prophecy is. And the book takes a lot of care to try to teach you this about what it is and like why Harry has to. And he explains it's the difference between like, I'm walking into the arena with my head held high because I want to, not
And that
because someone's
is all
forcing
the
me.
difference.
And that's all the
Yes.
difference. It's like, no, of course. He's like, do you think like you've got to? Harry was completely free to turn his back on the prophecy and not care about it, right? Voldemort was never going to because Voldemort is a psycho and was
Yes.
always going to hunt him down. And
We
Harry, conversely, was always going to hunt him because love. So,
Yes, the fiery passion that Voldemort put into him in the first place. I think it is genius to put these 2 chapters. So, right, we have the Lost Prophecy at the end of book 5, and then it's not till chapter 23 when in the chapter Horcruxes, again, I don't know, a top 5 chapter in all of the Harry Potterdom. And there we go, Half-Blood Prince, baby. Sounds a lot like my favorite podcast, Half-Blood Pod. And it's 500 pages apart where Harry, much like the reader, sits with the weight of the prophecy of, oh my goodness, there was a prophecy. Voldemort is going to try to kill me and he's never going to stop. And I have to fight against him. And again, like what's to on Instagram, maybe you're like making a really smart point by saying the prophecy is pointless. And what you're trying to sum up is everything that Dumbledore teaches Harry in chapter 23, but I don't think it is. I think you actually think the prophecy is pointless, but it's not. Voldemort acted on it and created an enemy that will be obsessed with trying to defeat Voldemort. And again, basically, even if Harry did try to run away from the prophecy would be fulfilled because one of them is trying to fulfill it. As long as Voldemort is trying to kill Harry, almost certainly
right. But
there's no
like,
way that the life can end without one of them
exactly.
killing
But
the
like,
other.
the prophecy isn't what causes, like, is driving the universe. Like, Voldemort is free to stop.
Yes.
He's
Yes.
not going to, but he is free to, right? The prophecy isn't that. And so Voldemort says, Harry's trying to say him, he says, Harry's telling him, but it comes to the same. And Voldemort like yells at him. No, it doesn't, said
Dumbledore
Voldemort,
yells at him.
sounding impatient. Yeah, Dumbledore yells at him. He's like, no, it doesn't, said Voldemort, sounding impatient now, pointing at Harry with his black-withered wand. He said, you are setting too much store by the prophecy.
You keep saying
But
Voldemort. You keep saying Voldemort instead of Dumbledore.
did I say whatever? All right. But Harry exploded. Voldemort never heard the prophecy. Would it have been fulfilled? Would have meant anything? Of course not. You think every prophecy in the Hall of Prophecy has been fulfilled?
Millions.
They go on and on. They argue about that, but it's not about like. So the prophecy is like there was something that Voldemort was on the lookout, and like there was a prophecy made that the one with the power to vanquish the Dark Lord approaches. But if Voldemort had ignored the prophecy, that prophecy would not have been fulfilled. Something else would have happened. It wouldn't have been Harry. It would have been something else.
Exactly. Exactly.
Eventually, I think the way that like I read this book is that eventually, like, and this, kind of goes with my own personal like views of the world, but like eventually love wins. And like Voldemort would it's impossible for someone like Voldemort to rule indefinitely
Right.
because it's too unnatural. It's too you know, see Andor explains it all beautifully about what rebellion is and all that stuff.
Yes, it does.
Nemec's manifesto is basically what I want to say. Check it out. Nemec's manifesto. That's what, you know, it's a, what does
Bug's
he call it?
life,
He was like
baby.
an unnatural little small acts of rebellion are happening constantly across the galaxy. Right. So like Voldemort, like would have taken over, but like eventually he would be down. His own pride would cause his own downfall anyway. So
I mean, counterpoint to that being unnatural, what about Loki when he, bow to me? Is this not your natural position? He's got a
Yeah,
point. I don't
well,
know.
Loki looks at humans as
Boot
ants, the way Hopper
and
looks at them.
ant.
So,
Good call.
Uh,
I basically
but
wrote
yeah,
down, yeah, like
I just
all
feel like
of
you don't understand the book and you haven't. If you think the prophecy was pointless, you need to read chapter
maybe
23.
maybe his point is Voldemort is stupid and shouldn't have done this. And I guess if that's your point, yeah, Voldemort is a flawed character. We're not here to root for him. If he was perfect, I guess he'd be ruling the wizarding world, and he's not.
Right.
So
Also, I mean, conquerors and despots everywhere, they get power hungry and crazy and stretch themselves. I don't know. This is not. It's not that complicated. Geez, like you know.
you hit the best lines. I basically wrote down like all of the Lost Prophecy chapter and all of Horcruxes as they explain this, but every line is so perfect. And yes, Dumbledore so fiery, passionate, and I feel like a part that I love is like as Harry's thinking in his head of like again the difference between walking with your head held high is that he has a choice, and Harry thought with a rush of fierce pride, so did my parents. And I don't know, I like that connecting it back to James and Lily, the OGs. So, mad
Yeah.
respect. All the difference in the world. William, we've discussed the prophecy. I don't know. I hope we did an okay job saying why it matters. Now, going back to your
I just want to
favorite,
say too, for all these people who think the poorly written, the reasons there are given in the books, of why the prophecy matters. I guess you can argue with it, but read the books. It gives you reasons. If you think it's poorly written, that's your own terrible opinion. You're free to have it, but
I mean, yeah, one of the
go for
comments
it.
was like the prophecy was ended up being pointless. I think this might have been Evelyn again. Like the prophecy was pointless. Like Dumbledore just showed it to Harry at the end of the book. It's like, yes, but that's not the point of any of this. The point is, why did Voldemort want it? Why did answering the question, why did Voldemort try to kill Harry in the first place? And like Harry hearing the prophecy is not the point. The point is the motivations of
Mhm.
Voldemort and how that is impacting Harry. I don't know. I don't get what they mean by it's pointless. Dumbledore had it the whole
I
time.
mean,
Yes, he did. That has nothing to do with anything. Here's Evelyn's last point, and I think there's some good thought to practice here. Basically, she's upset and just said, none of this would have happened if Dumbledore just acted like an adult and just talked to Harry. And I just want to go through. Okay, again, this is Dumbledore's
Dumbledore
like,
literally admits all this. He's like, yes,
yes,
I
and
screwed
she
up.
just doesn't
I
accept that.
messed up.
But let's talk through it. What happens if we just open like Dumbledore just like book 5 is like book 6 and Dumbledore just like shows up at Privet Drive and is like, "Harry, here's what's happening." And what actually happens if Dumbledore does that? Then like I think again, I'm basing this off of what happens in Harry's office or what happens in Dumbledore's office. Like he feels Voldemort rising out
Right.
of him. Like that horrifying feeling. Dumbledore can see Voldemort lurking there. So I assume that happens there the first time that they meet and they make eye contact. I assume that awakening happens much faster and it happens immediately. And then all these are all the things that Dumbledore is scared of happening, that he would try to possess Harry to attack Dumbledore. He would possess Harry to spy on Dumbledore. He would manipulate and misdirect your thoughts, which is actually what he does do. He does misdirect his thoughts so that he goes to the Department of Mysteries. Um, and and then or like ultimately like yeah, just straight up possess him and like I don't know, like try to kill Dumbledore. We know what happens when he is possessed, but what would have actually happened if he just sat down was like, "Hey, you and I are close," and Voldemort knows that now. I mean, he's not saying these things, but he does all the talking and he tries to help Harry. Voldemort knows all this. What actually happens, William? Like, what is
I
the
I
worst
don't
case
know. I mean,
scenario?
this is like the episode of Community when they roll the dice and you have 6 different timelines, right?
Yeah.
Like This is the infinite timeline, the variance of things. Like there's a million different things that happen. Like maybe everything would have gone better in that timeline. Maybe it would have been worse. It's a butterfly effect, whatever, right? The point is that Dumbledore gives pretty good, solid reasons of admitting it was an error. I screwed up, and I
Right.
should have told you earlier. And I was a
Right.
fool, and I felt bad for you. I loved you. I cared for you, and I wanted to protect you from terrible knowledge. It was a mistake. I should have told you earlier. And if you can't accept that as like a good enough reason, then I guess you have never, ever made a mistake in your life where you probably could have had a really much easier way to do something, to tell someone something, to avoid problems that you cause for yourself later by putting something off or whatever. Like what he does is human. What Dumbledore does is like the most human thing. Like he avoided something hard
Right. Right. I mean,
because he was dealing with a little kid and he felt bad and he loved the kid and he just couldn't bring himself to do it. I don't think it was part of some master plan where he had to do it exactly this way. Like,
right.
Doctor Strange telling like the one way to defeat Thanos. Like there's probably a bunch of ways. And maybe it would have been better had he told Harry. Or maybe it would have been worse and something worse would have happened. I don't know. The
I
way it
feel
worked
like
out was a great story.
oh, I agree. I feel like there's a lot of doomsday scenarios here, right? Number one is he like possesses Harry. Again, we realize that that fails, but like the worst case scenario in Dumbledore's mind, I think, is like he possesses Harry, and Harry is just being controlled in every way by Lord Voldemort, and like he's just a weapon that he
Mhm.
can literally like just try to kill Dumbledore right there as they're just sitting alone together. I feel like that's actually
Yeah.
worst case scenario. Two is like again, like the sixth book, like we see what Dumbledore's plans are, and he breaks it all down to Harry because Harry is the future, and Harry needs to know this. And like one, like I feel like again, he would have had to start all this with like, here's the prophecy. And I feel like Voldemort lurking, like gathering Harry's thoughts the same way that Harry does to Voldemort. That's a worst case scenario. He gets all the information of the prophecy. That's not good. If he realizes his mistake and actually forgets Harry and like stops trying to kill him, like that's worst case scenario. Then we keep going. Like again, a Horcrux education is like, and the education into Voldemort's background is Harry's, next steps with Dumbledore after this. That's worst case scenario. Like if there's any hint that Dumbledore knows that Horcruxes exist, like it's game over for Harry. Like all the Horcruxes are going to the moon, and he's never going to find them. And I feel like there are some pretty horrible things that could have happened if he told him before Voldemort learned I can't go
Yeah.
inside Harry's mind or I will
Yeah.
die.
Like who knows? It may have not worked out. Harry may have caught in the fire and died. But again, like if you tell him like there was a simple shortcut to like avoid these problems, like okay, great, then we don't have a book. Like what do you want to do?
You have to create
Like
complicated enough problems. I feel like these were all
and
complicated enough.
yeah, and also like I think it's a pretty like human and relatable reason, like
Love.
what Voldemort. I mean, why Dumbledore explains to him like why he didn't tell him, and he also admits it was an error. Like it's definitely a large part of Dumbledore's fault that Sirius died.
Not all my fault. I'm not so prideful as to say that, but
Right. But
most.
like Dumbledore, he screwed up.
He did.
He's not perfect. He definitely messes up. There was probably a better way to tell him. But that's not what happened. And I know I can think of a billion personal things where I probably could have done something a lot easier or better, and I did not. So
Good call. Good call. I feel like this podcast is an example of that because I just am not sure that I've expressed my thoughts and feelings enough that this is an amazing chapter that connects the favorite series of my lifetime and how again Voldemort's motivations versus Harry's motivations are so perfectly put here, and how that is also how Harry ends up defeating Voldemort in the end. It's still love. It's still
Mhm.
Voldemort's blind obsession with trying to kill Harry. and it was a downfall in book 1, and it was a downfall in book 7, and it's beautiful, and this is the crux that holds it all together. It's beautiful.
Mm-hmm. It is beautiful.
I love this.
Yeah.
I love this book, and I look forward to doing a book ranking with you next week so I can tell again
Oh, yeah.
for a 7th consecutive episode how much I love Order of the Phoenix.
Yes. Can't wait.
Me neither, but we will have to wait one more week. But before that, William, this is the end of the episode. Let's wrap up with a Fred versus George, unless there's anything else you have on Order of the Phoenix.
I got nothing. Fred or George me.
We are
technically.
still
I'm not an A yet. I'm not an A yet. I need to.
Today's
be
the
an
day.
A.
Today's the day.
Today is the day.
We're still on book 4. We are at the the Quidditch World Cup now. And my question is a twofer. Who actually declares the bet with Bagman? And part 2, who makes the joke to Mrs. Weasley about her unfounded accusation? It's the same twin. That's why, I'm combining them together because I thought the bet one was way too hard. I was like, but it's important, and we should. I have the quotes here if you want me to read them.
No, the answer's Fred, because he says if George and I died.
Yeah, I thought the unfounded accusation would get you. Do you think you could have got who made the bet?
No, probably not. Well, I would have guessed, and I might have gotten it right. But when I get, weirded out about it, and when in doubt, go with Fred because Fred's the favored twin.
He is. He absolutely is. Now, Mom, if the Hogwarts Express crashed tomorrow and George and I died, how would you feel? How would you feel to know the last thing we ever heard from you was an unfounded accusation? It's beautiful. Bonus point. How much did they wager on the match?
How much did they wager on the match? I actually got this.
This was a Triwizard tournament or Triquizzard tournament question, wasn't it?
It was, well, how much they wagered actually, are we including the the fake wand, the value of the fake wand?
Absolutely, we are.
Okay. So they wager of actual money, 37 galleons, 15 sickles, 3 knuts.
Yes.
And he throws 5 galleons for the fake wand.
I don't have the 5 galleons in front of me, but yes, I'm 99.9% sure it's 5 galleons on the fake wand. I'm pretty sure that was a Hunter question.
Yeah, I think I did it in Barry's Jeopardy too.
Haha, we're just recycling questions all over the place. Get some original questions. It's a joke. Half-Bloods, we're back next week with a book ranking. Be ready to hate on our takes.
Personal rankings. Yeah, and this is not about, the writing is just so contrived.
No, it's not. It's about having fun in a beautiful story about love.
Yup.
But before that, we'll also have our plot hole mini episode. No, that comes out. I need to know when our stuff comes out. But we'll also be doing a plot
on a
hole.
day.
We got lots of good stuff going on. Love you, Half-Bloods, and we'll see you next week or in 2 days. I don't know anything. Peace.